Welcome to the Garage Door Heroes podcast. I am your host, Rob Leishman, founder of Legit 5 Garage Door Marketing, and this is the place where garage door dealers become true heroes in their markets and businesses. In each episode, I bring you proven strategies, insider stories, and conversations with industry leaders to help you grow your company, lead your team with confidence, and create the freedom you've been looking for. Because in this business, it's not just about fixing doors, it's about building lives, families, and legacies. Let's get started.
Hello, G-Door Heroes. I hope everyone is doing so well today. I know I'm not the person you normally see on this podcast, but I am Rob's business partner, Tanner, if you haven't met me before. And I do a little bit more of the operations around here, and I have got a subject that I think is going to be very applicable and very important for all of you guys today. So, with that being said, as you can see on the screen here, I'm Tanner Leishman, and I am talking about Google Business Profile Compliance for garage door companies. Why suspension is not a matter of if, but when, and how to be ready when it happens. So I'm sure you all know Google has a real tough time with garage door companies, and they're really hard on you guys. And I think a lot of this comes from, obviously some of the issues in the industry, but not only that, a lot of us are misunderstanding of what really is compliant and what is the right way to handle our Google business profile. So I put this guide together to help you guys understand a little bit more of how to stay in Google's good graces, how to do things the right way, what Google is looking for, so that when your profile gets suspended, you're ready for it, you know exactly what to do, and you're not playing catch up. I've got a lot of really good resources in here, so stick around till the end. I'm going to have all of our resources, and you're going to want to get those things to help you be prepared, help you make sure you're compliant. So without further ado, let's jump into this. So let's do a quick overview, executive summary. That's me and Rob. I am Rob's son, if you guys didn't know that. So overview, why Google aggressively enforces rules in the garage door industry. These are some things I want you guys to keep an eye out for. How Google determines whether a business is legitimate, the high risks and realities of physical business locations, common mistakes that lead to suspension, and practical frameworks for prevention and recovery. Some key points I want you guys to listen out for. Suspension is not personal, it's systemic. Google prioritizes users, meaning searchers, Google prioritizes users and platform trust over businesses. Consistency and evidence matter more than intent. Physical locations amplify compliance, they don't replace it. And last but not least, preventative compliance is cheaper than recovery, meaning it's cheaper to just make sure you're set up in the right way before we get suspended rather than trying to catch up and get everything done once we get suspended. I can already hear everybody saying, but the scammers in my market are getting away with it. I know it's tough. All of the security measures that Google puts in place are to stop the scammers. And we may not like it, but things could be much worse if it was not for these preventative measures that Google puts into place. So do not let your business appear to Google as one of the scammers. This is also for the betterment of the industry as a whole. My clients are all, for the most part, very compliant, right? We do a really good job of making sure that everybody on our client list follows these rules. This is for the industry as a whole, right? As long as we're playing the game the right way that Google wants, we all benefit. Google will stop being so hard on us, and I don't think they'll ever back off, but these suspensions could become less and less common. And I will say our clients don't get suspended very often because we are very careful about taking care of all of these things. So if we as an industry can improve, hopefully Google will start to take it easier on us. And this is an industry issue. This is not a Google issue. So by the end of this podcast, you will be able to understand why Google suspends garage door businesses, identify whether your current setup is compliant or at risk, avoid common location and documentation mistakes, decide whether you should focus on prevention or appeal, and take practical steps to protect your Google visibility. So let's just do a quick what this webinar is and what it is not. This is white hat methods to comply with Google's guidelines, evidence and experience-based ways to stay out of trouble with Google, the only real way to have long-term success with your Google business profile. Let's talk about what it is not. This is not tricks, loopholes, or workarounds. This is not a guarantee of any kind. I can't speak for Google. I'm telling you what we know from our experience and the way that you can stay in Google's good graces the best. And this is not beating Google. This is playing Google's game. We are all expecting Google to give us a slice of their clicks and calls. So if we're going to play Google's game, we really just need to learn the rules and stay within their good graces. So it's not if your Google business profile gets suspended, it is when preparation beats reaction. If you have not had one suspended yet, get ready because it's going to happen eventually. And you just want to be as prepared as possible. So let's talk about why Google suspends business profiles. There are AI enforcement sweeps. There are user-triggered suspensions, suspicious account activity, inconsistent information online, address legitimacy issues, documentation mismatch, and obviously we're a high-risk industry in garage doors. Most suspensions result from accumulated risk signals, not isolated mistakes. Why Google is hard on garage door companies, why this industry is scrutinized. This is a high-risk / duress industry. There just are a lot of scammers in the garage door world, and so we need to do our best as legitimate bona fide garage door companies. We need to do our best to stay compliant with Google's rules so that we don't look like the scammers to Google. So there's a lot of fake profiles and locations, fake reviews, and a lot of lead selling networks. So let's talk about something really important. This is the DASMA proof point. Google has legal precedence. If you are not familiar, there's a DASMA article you can check out there. What happened was Google sued some of these fake Google business profile networks for hundreds of fake GBPs and thousands of fake reviews, and Google actually won. So what does that mean? Google has formally taken action against abuse in the home service industry. That means Google has legal precedent to enforce stricter rules. Consumer protection is Google's top priority. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Verification requirements are increasing, not decreasing. So just be ready. They're going to want to. They are going to increase their requirements for this for evidence and verification. It's not going to get easier. We just need to be better. The burden of proof is on the business. Documentation and consistency matter more than intent, which is very important. And long-term compliant matters more. Long-term compliance matters more than last-minute fixes. I love it when people tell me, I'm going to sue Google over this, about their suspended profile, or when they fail advanced verification. Too late. Google has already taken legal action against abuse in the home services, including fake business profiles, fake reviews, and Google won, which reinforces their authority to remove listings, suspend profiles, enforce stricter verification, and it confirms Google's enforcements are intentional. It is justified, and it is permanent. This is not temporary. Like I said, we want them to kind of ease up on us as an industry, but we really need to prove ourselves. And I imagine the way this is going to go is all of the rest of the industries, plumbing, HVAC, other home services, their verification requirements will be increasing as well. Google is actively cooperating with regulators like the FTC, meaning consumer protection comes first. Businesses are scrutinized more than Google users. So the burden of proof is now on the business, not on Google. And Google does not need to explain their suspensions in detail, give warnings, offer second chances for long-term noncompliance, especially in industries with a history of abuse like garage doors. So that's just something to keep in mind. Google has the legal precedent here. There's nothing we can do about this. This is their platform. We're asking for favors on their platform. Okay. Google's priority hierarchy. So this is how Google enforces their priorities. So top, most important, is the user and the consumer. So that doesn't mean you as the advertiser. That does not mean you as the business owner. That means the very top, most important person to Google is the searcher, is the user. It's the end consumer who searches garage door repair near me. Why? Because if Google is allowing scammy companies to rank on Google or to advertise on Google, and Google searchers are clicking on those and getting scammed by people on Google, then Google's search engine has lost all authority, and people will no longer trust Google. So number one, most important, is the user and the consumer, and then down at the bottom, as you can see, is the business. So it doesn't matter how much you spend on Google. If they think you are a scammer, you are no longer allowed on their platform. So I like the quote down at the bottom. Business owners matter more to Google as users than advertisers. You, no matter how much you spend, you matter more to Google. And when you search takeout near me, lunch near me, you matter more to Google doing that than you do as an advertiser who spends, $30,000 a month plus. So let's make a quick distinction here. We're going to talk a little bit about physical locations and service area businesses. So just so you guys can be aware of what category you fall into. An SAB, when I say SAB, that's short for service area business. That means you operate from your home or you don't have a physical location that customers could theoretically come and visit. Also just means your address is not visible on Google. And then a physical location, which is what I'll refer to it as a physical location, means you have a legitimate office space or physical location that you do display on Google. And we'll talk about the compliance of those later on. Why businesses would want a physical location. So why would you want to have a visible address on Google rather than just a service area business? You get stronger map visibility. So the searches into Google Maps, garage door service near me, garage door repair near me, you will get stronger visibility there. It is a trust signal for Google, meaning Google trusts your business more because you have a physical location. You get higher consumer confidence, meaning that person who searches, they'll trust your business more if they can see that you guys have an address and they can see the address in those the physical location in your pictures there. And also long-term profile resilience. Important clarification, a physical location is not required. It is strictly a strategic advantage. It's not a shortcut. How Google determines legitimacy on these profiles. Legitimate address, permanent signage, utility bills in the company name, documentation consistency, and time-based trust. Basically meaning the longer you're compliant, the longer you will be not suspended. Google rewards evidence, not explanations. Consistency matters more than intent. It does not matter if all of the utilities are included in your lease. Google does not want an explanation. Just get the utility bill. I'll talk about this in a little bit more in depth later on in this episode, but just understand Google does not want an explanation. Physical location reality check. Is your location actually viable? Some things to consider. Is there permanent signage allowed? Like, is there a sign that's visible from the street that you could put your business name on? Can you get utilities in your name? Do you have exclusive access? So we put together the physical location guide. You can go ahead and scan this QR code, or I'll put it down in the description. That's going to help you kind of understand if when you're looking at a physical location, is this viable? Is this a place that Google would accept as my location? So here's just a little brief overview. These are some approved and prohibited location types. This is actually just a screenshot from that document. So I do recommend you go ahead and download that. But approved location types, warehouses or flex industrial suites, private office spaces, not shared office spaces. You need your own office suite. If you can't have your own office suite, like let's say you're sharing suite 125 between two businesses and you're like, oh, well, I have it twice a month. If that location is also on Google, you're going to get suspended. Like commercial space or commercial garages, that's all fine and dandy. Not allowed PO boxes, UPS store or mailbox rentals, virtual mailboxes, co-working spaces, even with the private office. So like Regis or WeWork, those will not pass, even if you do pay for the individual office. Shared office suites with unrelated businesses, storage units, or your home. It works a lot in other industries. It just does not work in garage doors. Again, we're talking about compliance here. You may have your home verified on Google. That's fine. I'm just telling you what Google wants, and from my experience, what works best to stay in good graces with Google. Case study patterns, what real suspensions look like. Yeah, co-working spaces, virtual mailboxes, expired leases. This is a crazy one, but I've seen this a lot where people will let their lease expire at their legitimate physical location, and they just think, well, Google doesn't need to know that I am no longer renting here, and they leave it there. And when Google catches wind of it, you will lose that profile with all of your reviews. So if you've got 200 reviews or 150 reviews on there that you've worked so hard to get, and then you thought you were gonna trick Google and leave your address on there after the lease expired, you will not get away with it. Just get a new physical location. You don't want to lose all of your reviews. Long-term locations with no signage, you really just don't get a place if they don't allow a sign. You're going to spend the same amount of money whether you can have a permanent sign or not, so just get one that's actually going to let you have signage on the outside. PO boxes obviously don't work either. Many suspensions result from months of non-compliance. As simple as that. Let's talk about a couple of compliance issues, things that I want you to keep an eye out for. Business name rules. What you should and should not include in your business name on your profile, okay? Use your real world business name exactly as it appears on your signage, invoices, and cards. You don't need to include LLC. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but don't add keywords, city names, taglines, phone numbers, or URLs. Don't just add garage door service and installation if you can't back it with evidence, meaning your logo says garage door service and installation. So it's XYZ garage door service and installation. Make sure that's what your logo says. Make sure that's what your DBA says. LLC and Inc. are only allowed if consistently shown on physical signage and materials. It's not recommended. Honestly, if you don't answer the phone with, "Hi, this is XYZ Garage Door LLC," then you don't need to include it on your business profile. I would just recommend drop the LLC, drop the Inc., and keep it consistent with your logo. So, wrong, XYZ Garage Door Repair, Salt Lake and Ogden. Don't put the city name on there, right? That's just keyword cramming, and Google hates that. Google specifically does not like the keyword cramming in there. So if you're XYZ Garage Door Repair, the right way is just have it XYZ Garage Door Repair. It matches your signage, matches your vehicle, and your invoices. Business description rules. Now, this is one of my favorite ones because I think it is misunderstood a lot of the time. So this is the description of your business in your Google business profile. This is what Google allows versus what gets you flagged. What's allowed, the services you offer, your mission, your history, and what makes you unique. What's not allowed is promotions, prices, salesy language, links of any kind. Also not allowed. Best garage door company in city name or lowest prices guaranteed. The rule of thumb here is write it like a business profile, not an ad. Factual, honest, and relevant only. It's not ad copy. It's not sales text. It's not a sales letter. This is strictly a description of your business. So avoid saying things like best price in town. Just give a description of your business. Choosing the right categories. This is a very important one. Please do not make this mistake. It will come back to haunt you. Choose the fewest categories that accurately describe your core business. If you are a garage door service company, your primary category should be garage door supplier. Secondary, you can do fence contractor if you service gates. Avoid garage builder. I know it's tempting because we really don't have that many categories that we can fit into, but garage builder is if you build garages, not garage doors. So don't include that one unless that's a service you offer. And then avoid stacking multiple categories to rank for more searches. Google's going to know, right? If you are not a general contractor and you can't prove that you're a general contractor, but you put general contractor on your business profile, when Google suspends you, you're going to have to answer for that. And it's not easy. It's much easier to just do it right the first time. Photos and media compliance. This is another really important one because people love to add stock photos to their business profile. So let's talk about what's allowed. Original photos of your team, your vehicle, your equipment, and job sites. Exterior or interior with visible signage, so like the exterior or interior of your business location. What's not allowed, stock images or photos copied from other companies, that will get flagged. It better be your website, your photo, original, or it's going to get flagged. Also not allowed before and after shots with text overlays, promotional watermarks. I know, it's tempting. We all want to do the beautiful before and after. Just post both the pictures. If they're both compliant, it's going to help you out. Just post the before picture of the destroyed or the ugly garage door and post the new one. And last but not least, blurry, heavily filtered, or digitally altered photos. Google AI detects this. You don't need to add filters to your photos. It is as simple as if you take the picture with your phone or with your camera, that's it. Don't edit it. Don't change anything. Don't add watermarks. Don't even add your logo. Just upload the picture as is. It makes it easier on you, and that's what Google wants to see. I put a perfect example here. Believe it or not, cool picture. I actually took this with my phone, and look how awesome it is. Completely compliant and actually a lovely picture. So we have a couple frameworks here. Framework number 1 is staying in Google's good graces. This is the proactive compliance, correct location selection, utilities secured early, consistent documentation everywhere. That's where I want you all to be. I want you all to be doing everything you can ahead of time. Like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's when Google suspends you. You don't want to be playing catch up when that happens. So framework number 1, make sure you're staying in Google's good graces. Framework number 2, that's appeal mode. Everyone is going to be suspended at some point in their Google career. So fix everything first, clean documentation only, accept some losses. You cannot appeal your way out of a bad setup. I want this to be made very clear. Accept some losses. It sucks. Nobody likes having their business profile suspended, especially if it's connected to a local services ads account. That's going to go on pause. So take a deep breath. Let's get everything set up right so that when we make this appeal, we can get it through as quickly as possible. Practical next steps, what you should do now. Secure your utility bills with the correct company name and the correct company address. Audit your consistency. Make sure that the name, address, and phone number are consistent across the internet, on your website, utility bills, business documentation. You're going to want it all to be very consistent down to the capital letters. Avoid reactive edits. Take it slow. When you get suspended, you need to make sure you do a clean audit of everything before you go in and make any adjustments. Definitely don't go make 20 changes to your profile in the same day, whether you're suspended or not. Prepare the documentation as early as possible. I'm harping on this because it's so important. Get as much documentation ready as you can before you are suspended. That way, when you're suspended, you've already got everything ready to go. Consistent name, address, phone number everywhere, websites, citations, etc. Make sure that your Google business profile name, address, and phone number appear the exact same way on your business profile as they do on your website. You're going to want to make sure it's the same as on Apple Maps, Yelp, Angie's, everywhere, BBB. Make sure that's all the same. Those are called citations. We'll dive into that a little bit more later on. Utility bills, what counts and what doesn't. Approved utility bill types. Now, this is from Google. I did not make this up. Google says that their approved utility bill types are electricity, gas, water and sewer, internet, landline phone, etc. Google says etc. There is no need to get creative. Just get one of those 5. I think that's easy enough. Okay, this is what every utility bill must include. Pay close attention because there's a lot of misunderstanding on this. Every utility bill, and let me move my camera here so you guys can see this a little bit more clearly. Every utility bill must include the business name, and it must match the way it displays on your Google business profile exactly. If you're using a DBA, your DBA must be legally registered, and your DBA must appear on the utility bill. So it should be My Business LLC, DBA XYZ Garage Doors. That's fine. Just make sure that it's set up that way. You need to have the exact business address. Has to be the same street number, suite number, city name, state, and zip code. I don't care if you own the whole building. If your business profile says Suite B, then your utility bill says Suite B. You can't say Suite A and you can go, well, I own the whole building. It doesn't matter. It needs to be consistent. Google is not going to accept your explanation. Utility provider name, billing period. It must be a real billing cycle, not a start notice or a service agreement. You don't want to have to wait a month. If you get suspended and we right away go out and get a phone bill signed up at our office, they will give you a service agreement or the start notice. They will not give you an actual utility bill, and you will have to wait an entire month to get that utility bill. So that's why I suggest go out and get your utilities now. It's cheap to get a $10, $15 a month utility bill, phone, or whatever. It's way cheaper to get that than have to wait a month and lose out on a month worth of calls. And it has to be within the last 3 months. So you can't, like I said, where we had all those people who let their business profile address expire, and then 6 months later, Google caught wind of it. They're trying to submit utility bills from 6 months ago. It's not going to work. You have to have a utility bill from the last 3 months. Okay. Google does not interpret, they only compare. So yeah, you can't explain away Google's rules. It doesn't matter if your utilities are all included in your lease. Google does not want an explanation. Just get the utility bill. Let's talk about the real cost difference for a second here. How much would it cost you to lose 1 to 3 months of organic calls from your GBP? If your GBP is suspended, your LSA can go down too. That's why we always say preventative compliance costs much less than trying to recover once it's too late. So we just say compliance is the cost of participation. Those who follow the rules earn trust, rankings, and calls. We are coming to Google and asking them to give us some of their free clicks and calls. We have to just play by their rules. So the cost of compliance, the $15 to $20 a month utility bill, that's just what you pay to follow the rules. The business profile is free. You get calls out of it. I think it's worth whatever you have to pay. So let's go on to the meat and potatoes of this presentation. What to do when Google suspends your business profile. Step-by-step guidance for garage door companies. First, we need to identify what kind of suspension you are facing. So there's profile suspension, which is just the business profile is suspended. There's the soft suspension, which means the profile is still live, still visible on Google, but it's not editable. And you'll know that's the case because it's still it'll tell you that it is still publicly visible. It usually just means it requires re-verification. But like you can't see your calls. You can't see how many profile interactions you got. So that's a soft suspension. A hard suspension is not publicly visible. It will say on there not publicly visible, and it's removed from the search from the maps. So those are the two types of business profile suspensions. And then there's the third one, which is account suspension. So your Google account is restricted, which can lock you out of all of the GBPs that it owns. Before you do anything, if your account is suspended, before you do anything, you need to do not re-verify, don't make any changes to your GBP, don't create a new GBP. I'm going to walk you through what to do. That is very common, by the way. The account suspension is very common. So, step-by-step plan for a suspended GBP, regular suspension of just the profile, so not the account. Review and clean up. Check your business description, remove salesy language, remove stock photos or over-edited photos. Confirm that you're using the HTTPS version of your website in the URL. So in there where you put your business website, just make sure it says HTTPS at the beginning. If it says HTTP, that's a problem. Also, if you just have like the domain like xyzgaragedoors.com, that's also not compliant. You're going to want to fix inaccurate categories. Like I mentioned earlier, avoid Garage Builder if you don't build garages. Okay, part 2. You're going to make sure that your name, address, and phone number match exactly across your Google business profile, on your website, your citations, meaning like all of the directories, so Yelp, Angie, BBB, Home Advisor, Facebook, and more. All of your documents, invoices, and printed materials also match the name, address, phone number. We say NAP. So if you hear me say NAP, that's name, address, phone number. Warning, even small mismatches, LLC versus no LLC, ST versus street, that can trigger a flag. So it's better to just, those are easy fixes, right? That's easy. So it's better to just take care of that beforehand. The step 2, gather evidence. It is required that you get at least one of these documents: a state and or city business license / company registration, a DBA or fictitious name registration detail, just like a document of your DBA, an IRS letter, EIN documentation is a great one, sales tax certificate or tax letter, so you need to have at least one of those. Easiest one is going to be your state business license / company registration or your DBA. I think those are the easiest ones of those. Obviously, the more the merrier, whatever you can get. And then you also are required to have at least one of these. We talked about these earlier. Utility bills, water bill, electricity, phone, internet, waste. Again, Google says, etc. Don't get creative. Just get water, electricity, phone, internet, or waste. Don't need to complicate it. Then, how to appeal the suspension. You're going to go to that workflow that you can see there. It's also going to be linked below. You're going to include in your appeal a Google Drive folder with all of your supporting documents and an explanation of what your business does and what you fixed. So just a simple example one would be, we are a licensed garage door service company servicing city name. We've included a video walkthrough, business registration, and photos of our branded vehicle. We believe this suspension was issued in error. Now, don't just copy that unless you can prove all of those things, right? Include a video, include a link to this Google Drive folder with all of your supporting documentation, and do make it legitimate, right? Don't get caught up trying to lie to Google, they will catch you. Okay? What if the suspension was caused by a suspended Google account? So this is what I talked about a little bit earlier. It's not just one of your profiles is suspended. Your Google user was suspended. Now this can happen for a number of reasons. I've had people that they sent like 150 cold emails from their personal Gmail account and they got them suspended. There was like just weird things like that. When your user makes Google angry or breaks Google's rules in some way, your user gets suspended, then all of the profiles that it owns will also get suspended. So don't appeal yet. Do this first. You're going to create a brand new Google account, or if you've already got one that doesn't have anything to do with the profile, that works too. You're going to want to use a branded domain email. So like admin@yourcompany.com or marketing@yourcompany.com. Those are great. Avoid using the free Gmail address or anything linked to the suspended account. The free Gmail is fine to start with, but really you want to be showing that you are a legitimate business, and I think that's a very important part to that. Then you're going to transfer the Google Business Profile ownership. So you're going to log in from the suspended account. You're going to add the new account that you just created. So let's just say admin@yourcompany.com. Add them as a user on the suspended business profile. You're going to have to wait 7 full days. This is Google's security hold. So even if you go in and try and make them the primary owner, it will say, hey, you got to wait 7 days to do this. So you wait the 7 days, and then you're going to promote the new account that you added to primary owner, and then remove the suspended account. So very carefully, create a new email address, transfer ownership to the new email address. You're going to wait 7 days, make them the primary owner, then remove the suspended account from the profile. From all of the profiles if it's more than one. So then you will go through at that point the same steps. You'll clean everything up, you'll gather the evidence, then you'll submit your appeal. So what happens if you're still denied? You can submit a second appeal. Sometimes it will even say eligible for another appeal. So you can go to the local appeals website and actually post in there. You can post in the GBP community forum. Try and include as much as you can a case ID, summary of your business and documents. Include that link to the Google Drive. And ask for some help in that community forum, and somebody from Google will pick it up and help you through it. At that point, though, you are going to want to double check for any mismatches in business name, address, on anything, on your profile, on the documents that you submitted on the website or the invoices. Odds are you might have missed something, so be very thorough with this. Be very careful, because even small inconsistencies can cause denials. If you're still stuck, we can help. If you've done everything, you're fully compliant, your documents are solid, you've submitted a reinstatement, and still no luck, go to our website, legit5.com, check us out, fill in the contact us form. We can help. We help a lot of garage door companies diagnose complex suspensions. We help you guys transfer your profiles safely to a new account, and we can escalate cases using proven strategies. Optional next steps. I do recommend an internal audit. Go ahead and just check through your business profile and your documentation and your company as a whole. Make sure everything's consistent. It's not just important for Google. This is important for your business as a whole. If you're looking to sell, they're going to want to see this. If you're looking to set up, Facebook is even going to look at these if you're trying to set up Facebook ads. Make sure everything is consistent. I think that's very important. At the end of this video, I will give you a compliance checklist. It's very important that you guys get that and check through your profile. Make sure everything is consistent. And then guided review. If you guys need some help, feel free to reach out. Let's talk about the complete evidence package. So everything you need for a strong appeal. The legal side, articles of organization, EIN letter, business license, DBA if applicable. That's the legal side. So this is basically everything you're going to need to create a strong appeal. Utilities, electricity, water, gas, internet, with the business name within the last 3 months. It cannot be your personal name. It cannot be your home address. It needs to be the business name and business address. Visual exterior photos. So you want it to be, the exterior of the building, but then people can still see your brand either on the street sign or the building sign, even like a door that would have that has your logo and your company name on it. Branded vehicle. I think that's self-explanatory. Tools, workspace, signage. video, an uncut walkthrough from the street to your workspace showing your branded materials. You're going to want to keep that under 2 minutes, but go outside, show the street sign. So like if yours says, D Street, show the sign that says D Street, then turn around, show your business location, walk up, grab the door, show that it's locked, pull out your keys, unlock the door, pull it open, walk in, showcase your place of business, showcase your tools. If you got springs in there, definitely show the springs. Have a computer up on the desk with Service Titan on there. Have House Call Pro, Workies, have whatever dispatch software you use up on that computer. That helps a lot. And just do as much as you can to show that you're a legitimate business that does business in that area. Business, you're going to want to have branded invoices, business cards, insurance certificate, lease or mortgage. Again, all of those need to have consistent name, address, and phone number on those documentations. So same address that's on your business profile, same name that's on your profile. If you're using a DBA, it needs to be My Business LLC, DBA XYZ Garage Doors. Format. Organize all of this into a Google Drive. Set sharing to anyone with the link and include this link in your appeal. I think it's a great idea. Just create a Google Drive, load all of your documentation in there, and include that in your appeal. I know that they look at those. So here's a quick tip for my garage door pros out there. This is a lot of the same evidence that you're going to need to complete advanced verification for either Google Guaranteed or pay-per-click ads. So it benefits you to just make sure your business is completely set up this way, because it's going to be the same documentation, the same evidence that they ask for when you're submitting for advanced verification. So last but not least, these free resources, as I promised earlier, legit5.com/physical-location-guide. That's going to be the guide for checking to make sure either your current physical location is good, or if you're looking at getting a new physical location and you're just not sure, check that guide out. Make sure that the location checks all of the boxes. Legit 5's GBP video verification guide. You can go to legit5.com/GBP-verification. That's just when you have to do those verification videos, sometimes it's a little fuzzy on what needs to be included. That guide will just tell you what you need to make sure you show in that video. And then obviously the greatest garage door podcast, the Garage Door Heroes podcast, you can find us at legit5.com/podcast or on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So, key takeaways from today, some things I hope you guys learned. Google treats garage door companies with extra scrutiny, so be proactive, not reactive. Your business name, description, photos, and categories must all be compliant, not just your address. NAP, like I said, name, address, phone number. NAP consistency across your GBP, website, and all citations is non-negotiable. Utility bills, legal documents, and original photos are your strongest evidence. Get them before you need them. Preventative compliance is always cheaper than suspension recovery. Start the audit today. Guys, thank you so much for sitting through this whole thing. You can find the Google Business Profile and Business Audit Guide down below. It's just a nice long guide. Goes through all of the checks that you need to make sure and what to do if you're not compliant and how to get compliant as soon as possible. I'm telling you guys, it's way better to get ahead of this before you get suspended and you spend 1 to 3 months in the doghouse with Google and missing out on all those calls. So if you want to play Google's game, you got to play Google's game. So get it done right. And I look forward to all you guys killing it out there. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Door Heroes podcast. I'm your host, Rob Leishman. If you got value today, hit subscribe and share this with another Garage Door hero you know. This show is brought to you by the Legit 5 Garage Door marketing team, helping garage door companies grow and dominate their markets. Until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and keep winning.